So the Bose QC Ultra headphones are a very impressive pair of ANC headphones that block out a ton of noise. They're very comfortable to wear for multiple hours on end, and they have a decently small case for traveling. But they do have their issues and shortcomings. But today, we're going to compare the Bose QC Ultra to both the Sony 1000XM5s and the Sony 1000XM4s. Is Bose back on top, and is Bose worth the premium? I don't think so.
Regarding pricing, the Bose QC Ultra has a retail price of $430. That is up there, and it is a little more than the Sony 1000XM5s, which has a retail price of $400, and the Sony 1000XM4s, which are the oldest headphones here, and they have a retail price of $350. But Sony's headphones routinely like to go on sale, and I do expect the Bose QC Ultras to go on sale from time to time as well. Nonetheless, if you want to pick any of these headphones up, they'll be linked down below, or you can always try out that new YouTube shopping button. And if you want to further support the channel, pick up a Big Head approved hat, link down below. We've got trucker hats and snapbacks. By buying a hat, you help the unbiased and unsponsored videos coming, and it also helps us cover more products and produce more versus videos. Thank you to everyone who's already bought a hat, and look out for more designs coming soon. And also, please remember to hit that like button, and let's get subscribed. Now first, let's talk about the included carrying cases, because I think that this is a big deal if you plan on traveling with your headphones. Now, all of these cases are hard shell cases, which is great because they're all going to keep your headphones well protected, even if you cram them into a cramped backpack. However, both the Bose QC Ultra and Sony 1000XM4s have decently small cases that aren't too thick, and they don't have a large footprint. But then there's the 1000XM5's case, which has a significantly larger case because these headphones have a lay flat design to them, so I feel that traveling with the XM5s is a hassle when compared to either the XM4s or the Bose QC Ultra. But with the cases out of the way, let's talk about the headphones themselves. Regarding fit, all of these headphones fit well. All of these headphones have a neutral amount of clamping force, as in they aren't too tight and they aren't too loose. So they're all Big Head approved, and even if you have a larger head and if you like to wear hats, all of these headphones should have you covered. And when it comes to their weight, all of these headphones are in the same ballpark. The Sony 1000XM4s weigh in at 255 grams, the Bose QC Ultra weigh in at 254 grams, and the Sony 1000XM5s weigh in at 250 grams. So with all of these headphones, they're easy to forget that you're wearing them when you're sitting still, and you don't notice them shifting around too much when you're walking around with them on. But the main fit difference between these headphones is going to come down to their ear pads and headbands. Now first, when it comes to the ear pads on these headphones, the 1000XM5s have the shallowest ear pads here. So even if you have average size ears, you're going to press down on your cartilage, which can get uncomfortable after like 30 or 40 minutes. Whereas the ear pads on the 1000XM4s are a lot more spacious than the ear pads found on the XM5s because they're a lot deeper. But then there are the earpads on the Bose QC Ultra, which are even more spacious than the earpads found on the XM4s. So with the XM4s, these will have no problem fitting most ear types. But if you have a very large ears or ears that stick out a lot, then you might want to go with the Bose QC Ultra. And with the XM5s, these are going to be better suited for people that have flatter ears. But then there are the headbands on these headphones, and personally, I'm not a fan of the headband found on the XM5s. Since this headband is so thin and since it's so minimally padded, I've found that this headband likes to create a hot spot on the top of your head after like 40 minutes, whereas the headbands on both the XM4s and Bose QC Ultra have a lot more padding, and they also have a lot more surface area, so hot spots aren't an issue for either of these headphones. So overall, when it comes to fit, I am gonna have to say that both the Bose QC Ultra and Sony 1000XM4s fit well. However, the Bose QC Ultra are a little more comfortable, specifically because they have more spacious earpads. And then there are the 1000XM5s. Personally, I don't like how these headphones fit because of their shallow earpads and minimally padded headband.
But with fit out of the way, let's talk about tech specs. Regarding battery life, the Bose QC Ultras are trailing behind here a little bit. Now, with their active noise cancellation turned on, the Bose QC Ultras have an advertised battery life of 24 hours, which is okay. However, if you were to use these headphones with their immersive audio turned on, then they are going to have an advertised battery life of 18 hours, which can be problematic if you plan on traveling with these headphones. Whereas with both of Sony's headphones, if you were to use them with their ANC turned on, then they're going to have an advertised battery life of 30 hours. Or if you were to use them with their ANC turned off, then they can go for as long as 40 hours. And this is actually another issue with the Bose QC Ultras, because you cannot use them with their active noise cancellation turned off. So you can't extend their battery life that way. And when it comes to charging these headphones, all of these headphones charge via a USB-C port, as they should. And when it comes to the fast charging numbers on these headphones, with the XM4s, if you were to charge them up for 10 minutes from a dead battery, then they're going to get you 5 hours of playback time. With the XM5s, if you were to charge them up for 3 minutes, they're going to get you 3 hours of playback time. But then there are the Bose QC Ultras, where if you charge them up for 15 minutes, then they're only going to get you 3 hours of playback time. So overall, the battery life on the Bose QC Ultra is okay, but Bose is still struggling when it comes to their battery life when compared to Sony's headphones, because Sony's headphones have longer lasting battery lives with their ANC turned on, they have the better fast charging numbers, and you can also use them with their ANC turned off, so you can always extend their battery life that way. Now, when it comes to connectivity, with all of these headphones, they can be connected to any two Bluetooth devices at the same time, which is good if you're a power user, because you can easily hot swap from one device to another, regardless of ecosystem. And when it comes to overall performance, all of these headphones have zero latency across the board when watching movies or videos on your phone, whether you're using an iPhone or an Android device. But when it comes to audio codecs, the Bose QC Ultras only have support for SBC and AAC, which is fine. But with Sony's headphones, they both have support for SBC and AAC, but they also have support for LDAC, which is Sony's own in-house high-res audio codec. Just keep in mind that if you do want to use LDAC, you do have to be an Android user, because iPhones top out at AAC. And also, if you do decide to use LDAC, that is going to take an additional toll on the battery life. But if you want to, you can always still use a wired connection with any of these headphones, because all of these headphones still have an audio jack. But both of these headphones are using a 2.5mm audio jack, whereas both of Sony's headphones are using your more standard 3.5mm audio jack. But the really important thing here is that with both of Sony's headphones, you can use them passively, as in they don't have to be powered on even if you want to use them with a wired connection. Whereas with the Bose QC Ultras, they do have to be powered on even if you want to use them with a wired connection. And also with all of these headphones, you cannot use their USB-C ports as a wired connection. The USB-C ports on all of these headphones are strictly used for charging.
But with all of that out of the way, let's talk about sound. Now, both of Sony's headphones are people pleasers, as in if you like a neutral sound signature or if you like a bass heavy sound signature, both of these headphones should have you covered. And with both of these headphones, you can adjust their EQ to your liking, because they both have an adjustable EQ. However, the XM5s do have slightly better instrument separation to them than the XM4s, so they sound a little more open and they have a little more detail. But the XM4s have a little more bass to them. Personally, I think more people are going to prefer the XM4s over the XM5s because they have a little more physicality or kick in their bass, so you can actually feel their bass. Because with the Bose QC Ultra, these are a pair of headphones that are better suited for someone that likes a more neutral or vocals-focused EQ, because the bass on these headphones is mostly on the audible side. As in, you can hear the bass, but you don't really feel the bass. Now, the Ultras also have an adjustable EQ, and you can go in and raise their bass. But even if you crank their bass all the way up, you're still not going to feel them rattling your head like how you would with the Sony XM4s. But what really makes the Bose QC Ultra stand out here is their immersive audio feature. Basically, this is going to put the vocals right in your face, and the instrumentals are going to open up, giving these headphones better instrument separation and openness. Now, immersive audio also does the whole head tracking thing, but I feel that this is just a gimmick, so I just keep them set to motion so that my music stays still. Yeah, I know the naming here is a little weird, but plainly said, yes, the Bose QC Ultra sound way more impressive than both of Sony's headphones with their immersive audio turned on. But the problem is, this is going to take an additional toll on the battery life, because they're going to go from 24 hours to 18 hours. So overall, I feel that both of Sony's headphones are going to be able to make most people happy. However, if you want to physically feel your bass, then you might want to go with the Sony 1000XM4s. But if you're someone that likes a neutral sound signature and you want that instrument separation, then you're going to want to go with the Bose QC Ultra. But you are going to have to sacrifice some battery life. Now, when it comes to controlling your medium, the Bose have a hybrid system where they have a physical button to play or pause your music, and you can skip through your music as well. And to adjust your volume, they have a touchpad that you can swipe up or down on. And personally, I hate adjusting the volume on these headphones because it's so problematic. Either the steps are too big, the steps are too small, or you just get a lot of missed inputs. Whereas with the Sonys, they both have a touchpad. You double tap to play or pause, swipe front or back to skip through your music, and you can swipe up or down to adjust your volume. And if you press and hold, they will continuously raise or lower your volume. Now, I know some people aren't fans of touchpads on their headphones, but I highly prefer the touchpads on both of Sony's headphones over Bose's media controls, because right now, adjusting their volume is a headache.
But something that all of these headphones do have are wear sensors, so they'll automatically pause your music when you take them off. And then when you put them back on, they'll start playing your music again. Now, personally, I don't really care for wear sensors on my headphones, so thankfully you can turn them off on all of these headphones, but they're there if you want them.
But now let's talk about the active noise cancellation on these headphones. Now, for the last year and a little bit, the Sony 1000XM5s were the kings when it came to blocking out noise. They block out the most amount of noise at sea level, and they blocked out the most amount of noise at cruising altitude. But now we have the Bose QC Ultra, and I can confidently say that they block out more noise than the Sony 1000XM5s, both at the low end and high end. But so that you can see for yourself, we're going to jump into an ANC test. So, like you may have just seen, the Bose QC Ultra block out overall more noise than the Sony 1000XM4s and the Sony 1000XM5s, which is great. However, the Bose QC Ultra are a little more aggressive when it comes to blocking out noise than Sony's headphones. When there is a lot of noise to block out, you start to feel some cabin pressure with the Bose QC Ultra. Now, the cabin pressure on the Bose QC Ultra isn't as bad as the cabin pressure found on the AirPod Max or Bose QC35, but you do feel it. Whereas with both of Sony's headphones, even when there is a lot of noise to block out, they still have less cabin pressure than Bose's headphones. So yes, Bose's headphones block out more noise than the Sony 1000XM5s and Sony 1000XM4s, but they do so with more cabin pressure. So some people are still going to prefer the ANC on the 1000XM5s over the Bose QC Ultra because they still block out a ton of noise, but with less cabin pressure, making them more comfortable to wear. Now, all of these headphones also have an ambient mode, and the ambient mode on all of these headphones sounds very natural, and they all do a good job of blocking out wind noise when walking outdoors. However, with both of Sony's headphones, you can adjust how much noise these headphones block out, and you can also make them focus on only people's voices. Whereas with the Bose, you can't. But also, all of these headphones have an active ambient mode, so they'll protect your hearing from sudden loud noises, which is good if you plan on commuting with your headphones. But these active ambient modes are very different. But let me just show you just a major headphone warning here on out. So like you just saw, with the XM4s, as soon as the siren started, they turned off their ambient mode, and when that siren stopped, they turned their ambient mode back on. The XM4s get it right here, whereas with the Bose, these are a little slow to react, like this. So like you saw, with the Bose, it took them a while to react, but eventually they got it. But Bose's reaction time really needs to improve when compared to the XM4s. But then there's the XM5s, which react fast, but they don't seem to get it quite right. So like you saw, with the XM5s, they react to that siren very quickly. But then they turn their ambient mode back on and off and on and off. I just don't know why the XM5s can't get it right like the XM4s. And even after over a year, Sony still hasn't fixed this through a firmware update. But overall, the Sony 1000XM4s have the best ambient mode here because you can adjust it and it's also going to actively protect your hearing. Whereas with the Bose, they also have a good sounding ambient mode, but I prefer to use their active sense turned off because it's too slow to react and it's overly sensitive. Like you saw, the active sense was slow to react to the siren in the demo, but also it's overly sensitive because the active sense will turn off your ambient mode if there's a car rolling by or if there's a lot of chatter if you're at the mall, and those are the exact sounds that I'm trying to listen for. So with active sense being turned on, you just hear snippets of the outside world. And for me, a good ambient mode on your headphones is just as important as good active noise cancellation, because an ambient mode is extremely useful if you're walking around the city, if you're at the airport, or even if you're at home and you still need to be aware of what's going on. But then there's speak to chat and quick attention on Sony's headphones, and speak to chat works a little like this.
Hello there. So this is speak to chat. Basically, when I start talking, these headphones will automatically lower the volume of their music and pump in all of the ambient sound around you so that you can quickly talk to someone without even to have to touch the headphones themselves. Now, these headphones will stay in this state for a preset determined amount of time, which you can adjust through their app, or you can always end speak to chat by double tapping on the touchpad like this. But personally, I'm not a really big fan of speak to chat because it's very easy to accidentally activate it. If you start talking to yourself very quietly, that can activate it. If you start laughing, that can activate it. If you sing along to your music, that can activate it. And on rare occasions, outside sounds can activate it as well. So that's why I don't like to use it. Personally, I prefer to use quick attention on both of Sony's headphones because it's a lot more intentional. And basically, when you fully cover the touchpad on both of Sony's headphones, they'll automatically lower the volume of your music and pump in all of the ambient sound around you so that you can quickly talk to someone without having to fully remove your headphones like this. And then when you let go, they'll go back to normal again. Now personally, I really love when my headphones have this type of feature because it's extremely useful, especially if you plan on flying with your headphones, because if a flight attendant comes to you and they ask you something, you can very quickly respond, and you can also have very quick conversations with them. And this is a feature that just isn't found on Bose's headphones. And personally, I'm very annoyed that the Bose QC Ultras don't have this feature because the Bose NC700s do have this feature, and they call it conversation mode, and conversation mode is actually better implemented than quick attention on Sony's headphones. So I really hope that Bose adds a conversation mode to their Bose QC Ultras through a future firmware update. But overall, I do feel that the Sony 1000XM4s have the best ambient mode experience here. You can adjust it to your liking. They're going to actively protect your hearing from sudden loud sounds, but they're not going to block out the sounds that you need to actually listen for. And they also have quick attention, which is especially useful if you plan on flying with your headphones. But finally, here's the microphone test. Now, the Sony 1000XM4s have the overall worst performing microphone here, but while in a quiet room, this microphone does sound decent. But with the Bose QC Ultra, this microphone does a much better job of picking up your voice while in a quiet room. But then there's the Sony 1000XM5s, and I feel that this microphone has better clarity than the Bose QC Ultra while in a quiet room. But what really makes the Sony 1000XM5 stand out here is how well this microphone is able to deal with external noise pollution. Because right now, this microphone is doing a really good job of reducing all of this road noise. Because for comparison's sake, if we were to switch over to my lapel microphone, you're going to clearly hear all of this road noise. But if we were to switch back over to the Sony 1000XM5s, it is severely reduced. Now, the Bose QC Ultras also do a decent job of reducing this road noise, and they do a decent job of keeping your voice front and center. However, this microphone isn't blocking out as much road noise as the Sony 1000XM5, and the clarity isn't as good. But then there's the Sony 1000XM4s, and these are letting in a lot of road noise. And the same thing can be said when it comes to blocking out chatter. Whereas with the Bose QC Ultra, this microphone is blocking out some chatter and there's a lot better clarity in my voice. But then there are the Sony 1000XM5s, and this microphone is blocking out a lot more chatter and there's a lot better clarity to my voice. And again, for comparison's sake, if we were to switch over to my lapel microphone, you're going to clearly hear all of this chatter. But if we were to switch back over to the Sony 1000XM5s, it is severely reduced. So overall, all of these headphones have decent sounding microphones on them to take phone calls with while in a quiet room. However, the Sony 1000XM5s have the best performing microphone here because they do the best job here of dealing with noise pollution.
But with all that being said, the Bose QC Ultra are definitely a very impressive pair of headphones that block out a lot of noise. They sound great with their immersive audio turned on, they have a good sounding ambient mode, and they have a decently small case, which is great for traveling. However, with the Bose QC Ultra, you do have to pay a premium over both of Sony's headphones, and there are some shortcomings that you have to deal with. Now, yes, they block out more noise than the 1000XM5s, but they have a little more cabin pressure. It's not bad, but it's there. If you want to get the best sound out of these headphones, you have to use them with their immersive audio turned on, which is going to take a toll on the battery life. And the battery life and the fast charging on these headphones could be better. Plus, you can't use them with their ANC turned off, and if you're going to use them with a wired connection, they need to be powered on. Their volume rocker is a little bit of a headache, and I hate that they're missing a conversation mode, and their active sense does need some tuning. Personally, I feel that if you're looking for a pair of headphones to travel with, I would go with the Sony 1000XM4s. They block out a decent amount of noise with less cabin pressure, they have a much better ambient mode that's active, and you have quick attention, which is very convenient. They also have a longer lasting battery life, and you can extend it if you want. They don't need to be powered on if you want to use them with a wired connection, and they also have a decently small case. Also, if you want to feel your bass, the XM4s have it. The main drawback is their microphone is lacking a little bit, but I think the Sony 1000XM4s give you a better travel experience over the Bose QC Ultra, and they're more affordable as well. And finally, there's the Sony 1000XM5s. These block out more noise than the XM4s, and they have less cabin pressure than the Bose QC Ultra, and they have the best performing microphone here. But they're not my favorite for traveling because I don't find them to be as comfortable, and their case can be a hassle. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit the like button and get subscribed. If you want to pick any of the products up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch. I made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And you know I can be very particular, so I'll only slap my name on something if I'm really proud of it.